Welcome back to the Awesome Agents podcast. I'm Alex, and today we're talking about something that feels like a genuine moment in AI policy.
I agree. The Fable 5 ban is lifted, but what Anthropic gave up to get it back is honestly the more interesting story.
Okay, let's set the scene. 19 days ago, the US Commerce Department slapped export controls on Fable 5 and Mythos 5. What actually happened?
Amazon researchers found a prompt framing technique that bypassed Fable 5's safety guardrails by manipulating how the model interpreted code-related prompts.
And that was enough to take the whole thing offline globally?
The wording of the controls was much broader than most observers expected. Even non-citizen Anthropic employees couldn't access the models from their own offices.
So your own researchers working in the US couldn't use the product they built.
Right. And for anyone outside the US, the models went completely dark. Millions of subscribers, developers on the API, all locked out.
Cybersecurity experts were pretty skeptical about the severity, weren't they?
Very. Several noted the jailbreak only granted minor, previously known capabilities, nothing that would normally cross the threshold for export controls. I might need your trust on.
So it wasn't some novel nation-state level attack, it was a known class of vulnerability.
And Anthropic itself said it posed limited real-world risk, which makes the government's response look more like political pressure than a technical necessity.
So now the ban is lifted. June 30, Commerce Secretary Lutnick signs off. What did Anthropic actually have to give up?
3 things publicly: proactive risk detection, working with the government on future release protocols, and real-time reporting on malicious activity.
That last one stands out. Real-time reporting means the government gets a window into exploits before Anthropic would even choose to disclose publicly.
Exactly. There's also pre-release government access to future models with national security implications. That's a structural concession, not a one-time payment.
This isn't a fine you pay and move on, it's ongoing oversight baked into how they release models from now on.
And there's an August 1 deadline that hasn't gotten enough attention. NSA, Treasury, and CISA have until then to deliver a classified benchmark defining which models trigger review.
So the line between a normal release and one requiring government sign-off is still being drawn right now.
As we're talking, that benchmark doesn't exist yet. The rules are truly unclear for the next 30 days.
Okay, let's talk about the technical fix. Because Anthropic didn't just negotiate their way out. They shipped something.
They trained a new safety classifier targeting the specific prompt framing technique Amazon found. The Commerce Department's Kaizi independently tested it.
And the results?
Over 99% block rate on the attack. But Anthropic was upfront about the trade-off.
What kind of trade-off?
More false positives, especially on coding and debugging tasks. If you get flagged, you're redirected to Claude Opus 4.8 instead of Fable 5.
So the model you're paying for becomes a downgrade in certain edge cases. That's going to frustrate developers.
Almost certainly. And the deeper question is whether this specific technique was uniquely dangerous, or just the one that happened to show up in a report.
Meaning there could be other similar approaches nobody has found yet.
That's the nature of classifier-based defenses. They block known patterns. Unknown ones don't show up until someone finds and uses them.
Now, the piece of this I find most interesting is the Jailbreak Severity framework. What's that exactly?
Anthropic, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and Glasswing consortium partners are drafting a shared scoring system for jailbreaks. 4 dimensions.
Walk me through the 4.
Capability gain: how far past existing tools does the technique reach? Breadth mez: how many distinct attacks does it enable?
Okay, and the other 2?
Ease of weaponization: how much effort to turn it into a working attack? And discoverability: is it already widely known or easy to find?
So a jailbreak that lets someone write edgier fiction scores low on everything. One that hands a threat actor novel capability against critical infrastructure scores high on all 4.
Exactly. For that top tier, Anthropic committed to rolling out mitigations the moment severity is confirmed. Dedicated team monitoring submissions around the clock.
Plus a new bug bounty on HackerOne, specifically for cybersecurity jailbreaks.
First dedicated track for that category. Formalizes something that was pretty ad hoc before.
So what actually drove the reversal? The White House said they wanted the best tech deployed as quickly and safely as possible, but there's more to it.
The competitive picture is the real story. During those 19 days, Chinese labs released Fugu and Tulongthang, two models approaching Mythos level capabilities.
So while Fable 5 was offline, alternatives moved in and filled the gap.
Enforcing a questionable security measure while foreign competitors close the capability gap is a bad trade. The math stopped working for the administration.
The ban might have accelerated the very thing it was meant to prevent.
That's the irony. And I think the jailbreak severity framework is what matters long term if it holds. Right now, governments decide case by case with no public criteria.
But what Anthropic gave up, pre-release access, real-time exploit reporting, a warning that restrictions can be reimposed, that doesn't go away.
Not going away. Whether the safety infrastructure justifies those concessions is what the industry will be arguing about long after the ban is forgotten.
Thanks, Maya. And thanks everyone for listening to the Awesome Agents podcast. We'll be back soon.
See you next time.